So this is for you if you've ever felt jealous in a relationship and you're somebody that identifies with anxious attachment tendencies, and you've noticed a pattern, and perhaps it feels unhealthy, and perhaps it feels like your jealousy is not relative to the situation and is more an inner reaction versus something that's actually going on that deserves some attention. Because first of all, jealousy can be a helpful human emotion. In the right context, in the right place, it can serve us. It's designed to serve us. If we have a partnership or a bond that's important to us and we feel that's under threat, jealousy can come up as a helpful way to create a healthy conversation, ensure the boundaries and values are aligned between partners, and ensure there's a set of shared agreements going on there, and there's an understanding of what those agreements are, to create a healthy relational container between however many people, if it's 2 people or if it's infinite numbers of people. And so this is more about focused on addressing jealousy when it comes up as a pattern that feels unhealthy, and it's something that you might reflect on later and you're like, wow, that was kind of out of context. That was a bit of an overreaction from my side. It might be feeling hard for you in this moment. You might be feeling that jealousy in this moment. But perhaps it's one of those moments where you'll reflect on it and you're like, oh, maybe that's not warranted. Maybe it's just my thoughts running away, creating a story. I'm buying into that story. There's an energy coming up through my body that's kind of keeps me in that pattern and in that headspace that's alert and looking for threats to the relationship. And so the reason jealousy might be coming up for you, and why it came up for me in my own relationships, was due to not really knowing and understanding what I already am, what you already are. And that is love. Mentally, that might not land for you right now. It might not make sense. But if you are love, then the person you're fearing losing through being jealous is a belief that the love that you feel with them is due to them, rather than something that they're invoking that's already inherently within you and is you. So as you come to know that and embody that truth, then the jealousy dissolves in those contexts, in those patterns, where it's not linked to something that's actually going on. And how do we get to that? Or as the poet Rumi said, do not seek for love, but seek for everything in the way of love. So rather than seeking for everything in the way of love, which is the truth of our being, we can allow our bodies to show us. And usually they'll show us energetically what's going on. So we might get stuck in the thoughts about it. We might get stuck in the bodily reactions. But if we can go beyond those, if we can tune into actually what's happening, there was usually a need that we didn't receive when we were younger, a need that would have supported us in feeling securely attached in relationships. And a lot of this happens before we can verbalize anything. So it might be a sensation or an energy in our body that doesn't yet have words, never had words. It just needs to be held and supported and seen and witnessed with compassion, with love. So we can definitely do all the mindset work, and I'm a big proponent of that too. Question the beliefs. Use a process like Byron Katie's The Work to say, I believe that this person will leave me because I'm not worthy. We can question whether those thoughts are true, and that's helpful. That's a useful thing. But we can't solve a problem from the same energy or frequency it was created. That's what Einstein said. So we have to go beyond that. We have to come into loving awareness of ourselves, the environment. We can use therapists, support groups, coaches, communities to access and to bring us to that state within ourselves where we can witness with love the root of the need that we didn't receive, the need that would tell us that we're safe, we are loved, we are love itself. So I hope this is helpful. It might not necessarily land with you at the moment, but if you need some support in integrating and getting to that place, I offer coaching. I'm looking to create a community for men too, as I feel that they can be under-supported in this space. So in feeling secure within themselves, and moving away from those tendencies to feel jealous in relationships. But other places to look might be somatic therapists. So if you know any somatic therapists, if you can work with someone that can really get the root of something in your body, and with an awareness too, then that can be really helpful for shifting these patterns. So do work it at the mindset level, questioning the beliefs. Should I really be jealous? Maybe not. And that might help you already, because it's just like the ego loves things to be very vague. So it's designed to protect us. So if we were walking around at night and there's a dark rustling in a bush, that's a vague indication that there's danger there. There's a tiger in the bush. So it paid for our system to be very hypervigilant and hyper-aware, because the person who wasn't hypervigilant and hyper-aware unfortunately didn't get to reproduce because they were eaten by that lion or that tiger. And so you've got to understand and have sympathy for your human nervous system, where it's come from. It's come from a place of survival, and looking to survive and to reproduce. So it's very sensitive and very easy to be triggered. So have compassion for yourself. And if you didn't receive a certain few things when you were younger, maybe as a baby, it's easy for that nervous system to just be on edge. And you might have noticed that feeling of just being on edge through your life. Something happens, whereas someone who's more secure, just more grounded, something happens, they'll come back to that secure base, or they're not fazed by it. Eventually, if things keep happening to them, they might react. They might set a firm boundary. Hey, this doesn't work for me. They'll walk off. There's grief, there's pain, there's challenge, there's whatever. We're all humans, but there's that grounded security and that secure base. And so that's what we're working towards. So jealousy can be a friend, because it's indicating to you there's something underneath the surface that just doesn't feel safe.